Hello YouTube, today I wanted to do a video explaining how I get my footage of my retro cameras here onto the computer and then ultimately onto YouTube. It's two very different technologies here. This one is the mini DV format. It was very popular with consumers, and DV tape there, and also the 8mm, which is older, Sony format invented, which was also very popular, and this is that one there, the 8mm camera. They both work slightly differently in terms of how they connect to a computer in 2019, but fundamentally I use one machine to do both. So if you've got this style of machine, you'll be familiar probably with the connections at the bottom here. Let's turn this over. Which is here, which is called Firewire. DV, this is an in and an output. But all I'm worrying about is getting the footage off that camera onto the computer. So I still use both these cameras because I'm into my retro gear. This is a TRV 900, very popular with skaters, came out in 1998. But in terms of connection, that one uses Firewire. This is a smaller connection style, if you can focus. So that goes into the camera. And then depending on the computer, this is the other end of the Firewire. This can either go in directly. If you have a newer iMac, like myself, a 2018 model, you need to use two adapters because it went from Firewire to Thunderbolt, and then Thunderbolt is now being upgraded again. So there's two different adapters, but they do work together. You get them both from Apple, or you can get them on Amazon. I'll put the links in the description, and then you could use that cable to this one going into that adapter. So that's completely doable. That's one way of doing it. And this one here, very much different. It has the good old Ferno connection, the older way. It's analog versus digital, of course. So you've got your video, and then here video left and right sound channels because it's a stereo camera. If you've got two, you've only got two of those on there, then you have a mono camera, which tends to be the older, cheaper ones, but that is a stereo video camera. Worry about sorting that out later. So let's go on to the next bit, how I get these onto the machine. Right, so here we are now at the iMac. Now this is a device I invested in last year because of the sheer amount of DV cameras I've got, and some of them being quite collectible cameras. I wanted to keep them working as long as possible, so I only do the recording on the video camera, and then when it comes to capturing that footage to the Mac, this is where this came in. Now this is a Sony HDV deck. It can do multiple formats, and that's why it's great device. It can do the high definition HDV format, which is the last lot of DV cameras that were sort of made in the high definition before it all moved to flash media and all that other stuff. It can also do the professional format DV cam, which I've got DV camera tapes as well, and then it can do the standard definition tapes as well. Plus this can do the full size tapes as well as the smaller ones, so it's really a machine that does it all. And the only thing I believe it can't take care of is at JVC because they record in a different format. Being for the HD stuff, the standard definition, it can very much play, and I do have JVC video cameras on the DV format, and I haven't captured that footage. Now the reason this machine is so great, apart from the fact it has a Firewire connection which is connected in, and as I say, it goes off and runs into the multiple Apple adapters they like to make you buy, because Apple needs that little bit more money. So I've pulled out, sorry for the dodgy filming this on my iPhone. You can see it down there. That is the adapter that runs off to then another adapter, and then goes into the Mac. Put that all back later. But the other reason this is an amazing device, yes, you've got your Firewire, and that would take care of the DV tapes. But now, if you're probably thinking, okay, well that's great for the DV tapes, but what about the 8mm, the big ones? So the camera with a Ferno, this is why this device is so great, it has Ferno input and output. So you can have the traditional, those leads I showed you earlier on the camera, this can go into here, And the other end of that cable is exactly the same, just down here. And that all then plugs into your video camera. And then on this device, you just flick a switch over here to tell it to record from the input on there, and that will then go to Firewire, obviously out using that Firewire connection at the back, and that's how you can digitize that stuff onto. So if I just open Final Cut a second. Now, say you've got your tape ready, so you're either doing a DV tape, or so you've either got one of those which is straight in there and the Firewire's going out, and that's all fine. But if you're doing the older camera, the 8mm, still plugged in there, and you've got that Flick 2 input on the back, it's the same process. So on here, you go to your input for Final Cut. Let's power this up. And then what will happen, you'll see on the input, it will start showing up. There you go, Sony HDV VCR. And at that point, you can either play your tapes on here, if that's how you're doing it. Exactly same process for either way of doing it with video cameras. Or for the Furnos, you wouldn't press anything on here. You literally just put that to Furno input, then it'll start playing on here. And you hit record on your computer, and away you go. And it's that simple. Hope this video has been helpful. I will put some links and further information in the description. Thank you very much.